thank you everyone for coming here, especially on a rainy day I've been hearing this busy with a bunch of different things going on this weekend, so super appreciate y'all all being here and participating as well, being a witness to the art and the cozy space that is Cross Crows Books. And also with it being Friday the 13th, I am a little bit more chaotic than normally sometimes, but we'll just roll with it. So, to get started with respect and gratitude, I'd like to acknowledge that we are on the unceded territories of the Coast Salish people, specifically of the Squamish, Tsleil-Waututh, and Musqueam people. And especially with this end of month being Orange Shirt Day / Truth and Reconciliation Day, it's always a reminder of the truth part of Truth and Reconciliation being, I think, especially in certain spaces, kind of ignored. So that's something that I always like to think about and remind myself and others of the importance of continuing to be cognizant and active, especially with supporting decolonial practices, Indigenous sovereignty, and Indigenous leadership, especially with election cycles coming soon and a whole bunch of messages being shared about with things. And also in the spirit of continuing to be active against colonial injustice and human rights violations, I encourage you all to keep donating, keep boycotting, protesting, contacting your reps, and doing what you can in solidarity with Palestine, Congo, and other global injustices. And about this event, the Little Gallery events here at Cross Crows are organized on a monthly basis to highlight queer, trans, BIPOC, and otherwise underrepresented artists and writers. I'm your host and co-organizer, Chad Solis, they, he pronouns. Hello. And we like to make these events as accessible as possible, so there's no interest fee for the events, but if you would like to support the wonderful performers here tonight, you can totally add to the performer tip jar over here, and also there's art for sale this month by the artist that's featured here, as well as support the bookshop that, for instance, Nana, who's normally here and holds the fort down 6 days a week, has been in the hospital this week. So as a queer-run, family-owned business, Lucy's here today, and they've been stepping in with their sibling Nor to be the main people here while Nana is sick. But normally you'd see Nana around on the every day-to-day, and especially with this time period, if you'd like to come in and check out the bookstore on different days, it's highly encouraged, especially with Nana being sick, and to support this community space. And so, speaking of tonight's artists, the featured visual artist for September is MinJung Kim, known as the artist name REM, who's a Korean-Canadian artist residing in Vancouver, BC. Reem's work focuses on sharing and expelling to intangible concepts through a tangible form. Memories, nostalgia, visions, messages from the ether, God, universe, the past, the future are all themes that are prevalent in REM's work. Her main visual art practices are oil painting, digital traditional illustration, and crochet textile work. She graduated as a freelance artist since graduating university, which she studied art and education and psychology by creating paintings and crochet commissions. Additionally, REM is steadily developing her own performance-based art practices and expression via singing and acting as well. So, if you like the art that is also for sale, you can also come by anytime until like early October to share the pieces with other people. Yeah. Avery Brennan Wren is an autistic, queer, and non-binary, multidisciplinary artist who was born and raised in the southern U.S. Avery is a classically trained pianist and soprano vocalist, an experimental and abstract painter, and a poet and writer. Avery has written a chapter about their experience growing up inside a fundamental Christian community in the book BJU and Me, Queer Voices from the World's Most Christian University. Themes in Avery's poetry include neurodivergence and mental illness, religion, and lived queer and trans experiences. You can follow Avery at AWRENN_rights, RN rights. Avery.
Hello, everybody. I have 6 poems to share with you. The first one, can everybody hear me?
Yes.
Okay. The first is the genesis of Avery. In the beginning, in 2019, Avery questioned their gender. Their gender became formless and deconstructed, dark and stormy. But the spirit of gender affirmation moved around them. And Avery said, "I'm non-binary," and they were non-binary. And the light slowly began to shine again. And Avery saw this and said, "It is good." And Avery said, "Let me tell my friends I am non-binary." And they did. They felt grounded and settled by the support they found there. And Avery saw this and said, "It is good." And Avery said, "The name my parents chose has never felt right." So they searched high and low for names that fit who they are. And they found and created the name Avery Brennan Wren. And Avery saw this and said, "It is good." And Avery said, "My hair confuses me, and I want to change it often. But more than that, I want it simple and practically gone." So Avery shaved their head. And Avery saw this and said, "It is good." And Avery said, "I do not want children of my own, and without children of my own, I can be a deeper lover of those around me." And they observed how their menses created immense pain and dysphoria. So Avery had a hysterectomy, and they felt empowered and at peace. And Avery saw this and said, "It is good." And Avery asked, "What style and fashion feels good on my body?" And they experimented with various clothing and accessories until they found what fit their autistic non-binary sensibilities. And Avery saw this and said, "It is good." And Avery's gender continued to evolve into 2024, co-created relationally with saved loved ones bearing witness. And Avery sees this and says, "It is good." These are the stories of the genesis of Avery and their gender as they created and evolved it, being both creator and creation. I did it. Vancouver spring day. I watch as a faint rainfall and a radiant sun coexist in a magical cloudy sky. Through the sunroof of my Tesla Uber, still floating on the high of mushrooms eaten and weed smoked with a friend, noticing cars covered in cherry blossoms as Vancouver spring awakens me. Leaves. Leaves falling gently, one by one, softly landing on the ground below. Other leaves dancing, swaying to the rhythm of the breeze. One by one they join the party, guided by the beat of the wind. Back and forth, following the flow. As the breeze slows, so do they. Matching the rhythm of the wind, they sway to and fro. Blessed is the earth. Blessed is the earth, the giver of all our life. Blessed are the forests, green and lush. Blessed are the waters, the oceans, the rings. Blessed is the desert, dry and sandy. Blessed are the wildflowers, growing wherever the wind blew them. Blessed are the houseplants, trimmed and watered with care. Blessed are the animals, small and big. Blessed are the pets and therapy animals. Blessed even are the spiders. Just keep them away from me, please. Blessed are the trees swaying in the wind. Blessed are the trees that are also home to moss. Blessed are the branches that forge new paths into the sky. Blessed are the flowers that bloom every year again. Blessed are the flowers who only grace us for short periods of time. Blessed are the flowers for demonstrating similarity and difference, and uniqueness and holiness, and growth and flourishing of which we all are capable. Blessed is the entropy and evolution, and magic and heartbreak, and chaos and beauty that is the earth. September 7th. It's 5:30 a.m. now. I've been up since 4. Insomnia, you know. I hear a seagull, the first one of the morning. I notice a few cars pass from the balcony of the apartment. I set the small white bowl with my discarded tea bag on the gold-trimmed nesting tables we got secondhand. In the soft glow of the candles I've lit, I watch the steam rise from the tea bag. This is my second cup of tea this morning. The apartment, I just moved here. I'm in a new home again. 14 addresses in 10 years. My paintings hung on the walls of the living room, curated with care by my friend, dimly lit by the candles and slowly emerging daylight. My tea is cool enough to drink now. I'm feeling tender but calm, cautious but hopeful. Hope is a scary thing when you live with chronic depression. It goes away for weeks, months, years. But when it comes back, it brings a life force of its own. And that's intimidating. Healing and recovering are hard. Because what if life actually gets better and stays that way? What does safety and consistency feel like? Do I even remember? A few more seagulls join the chorus. Where do seagulls go at night? Do they have nests like other birds? Must make a note to look it up. I'm wearing a long, cozy, vibrantly purple sweater. It's a signature Avery piece, a perfect fit for my autistic queer style. It's a housecoat mostly, but I wear it outside sometimes too. Autistic queer really is the best description of my fashion sense. It's the Avery. The sun's almost up now. More cars are driving by. More seagulls greeting the opening of the day. Good morning, September 7th. I'm glad to be alive today. Time to finish my tea. Chamomile. And finally, September 9th. A mentally ill person goes for a walk in a new neighborhood. They come home safely.
It's definitely cozier vibes and feels very much September, fall is arriving. So in the spirit of Friday the 13th, this is a last minute pivot for things because unfortunately one of the other performers could not perform today, had to go to the vet, unfortunately, so sending good pet care vibes to Melissa, and instead I will be performing, which so this marks the 1 year anniversary of these events, and it was kind of serendipitous that these events started. I one day walked into Cross Crows Books when my partner at the time was helping with stuff at the Trans March, and I was just chatting with Nena, talking about art stuff, and it kind of rolled from there. So this space always has like such awesome vibes, and there's like chances to do either for organizing, if anyone has like ideas for other events or groups or things. There's cool things like there's like crochet and knitting things. There's sometimes sticker clubs. There's been board game things, polyamory and sapphic themed meetups, and a variety of things. So yeah, if those are things of interest, you can check out other things here in the bookstore. So some of these poems I wrote from a zine that I made that was an archive from stuff that includes like old Tumblr log things. So there was a mix of some cringe and less cringe poems in there, but I picked ones that were not the ones that I found cringe from 10 years ago. And some of them are also like newer, like this past couple of years. Yeah. Poetry. When my mind sees paragraphs of text. I forgot I always have to do this because I am nearsighted and don't need them for reading this. Poetry. When my mind sees paragraphs of text and decides all of them are terms and service instructions, in a blink, my eyes forget my glasses aren't on my head. My eyes droop with fatigue, overwhelmed by consumption of flat words. Poetry. Found in scribbles on walls, bouncing bulletins of brilliance, ephemeral snacks of textural loquaciousness, replacing ads on the bus, Notes nestled in nooks and crevices, slim books slipping between seams of my consciousness. Chap, zine, song, dream. Flow feeding senses, emotions sipped strong, warm words dearly cupped in hands. Stitched stories spun, sticking like cotton candy. How novel, each cloud of words. Some clouds pass as quick as brief shade on warm days. Others carve shapes and shadows into the garden of our skin. When city letters scream, slurry under sour halitosis, flash, clash under pupils. Breathe, seek, hear a poem to ease. May I stare at you longingly. May I venture across the city just to be in your presence. May we freeze time for a moment with our hugs. May I interlock my fingers into yours and feel the energy between our palms. May your hands linger on the edges between my arms and the rest of the universe. May we hold our bodies together and interlock in the warmth of our timid veins. May I breathe in the stories from your kind lungs. May I shyly ponder your eyes, hoping fear will melt away from us. May I rejoice in the sound of your sweet voice. May you explore the crevices of my mind to find trust in its folds. May I whisper to you in foreign sounds so that one day you will know them too. May our lips dance on each other's skin and electrify us both. May I do all of this or none, as long as it makes your hours less burdensome. Through uncertainty and fright, may you know I thrive on just one yes from you. From the boundless cosmos inside of you, it is an honor to explore but one speck of your solar dust. I hope I am given the opportunity to learn entire solar systems of your being, if you allow me to. Our moments are of needle and thread. Hesitance guides my many stitches. Your steer tethers us. I learn, yearning without question, puncturing doubt with each stroke. You slide me from our non-linear presence, suspended in void until our seconds consolidate edges. Binding dispersed thoughts into raw present repletion. Your ink in pages of my skin stains in ways I begged for. A book left unopened for so long, growing brittle and dry without witness, feeling new yet cold as titles changed around. Yet dust remained firmly on my spine. Now, with every stroke, with every touch, I am alive. My story is uncovered. I am curved, quenched, saturated in glorious streaks and traces of adventure. This one's newer. Sparks like summer. Memory feeds fantasy. The golden beaches in my dreams cloud over the sand stuck in the seats. Drunk on time's aperitif, wait all year for the heat. Glasses pour, pause at the teeth. Lips get too afraid to meet. Hide in the shade, yearn for rain to wet our day. Choke on stale smoke and hay. AC, cut what's overbaked. Catch embers in every glance. Brush close with clammy hands. Risk burning. Does fire dare dance? The gravity of smoke. On a flame you're throwing gasoline. The hiss of your rage can be felt through my arteries. A body far from in recovery from the gravity of smoke. The memory of the first crack turned leak is so embedded as we continue to seep farther from my heart's center glow. Honey, I crave, I eat, what I can filter through my teeth. With tact of tongue I do deceive to dodge stings from bees. Light another incense. As my lungs are in suspense, in the fog you think we're okay? It's just breath play. But the fresh air, I fear, is too delayed. This next one is a song I was writing that kind of also works as a poem, which is usually how my poems go, because I also write songs. Also newer. Rusted home, creaking bones, saying I'm too young. Where's your sense of fun? In the hidden spells, when I hurt myself, whatever you can't see doesn't bring me peace. My body betrays me when I'm awake and asleep. You take control, years you mold. I cannot make plans when you bind my hands. You've got your hold on me. My body betrays me. I'm in pain as we speak. How can I trust you when I live in a home that breaks so easily? Sutured secrets, I learn your ways. Patience played. Please, today, promise me you'll cooperate with me.